people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
Okay, we'll start with this. Latest set of revelations as it pertains to Gervonta Davis's domestic abuse case. Strip club video report detail allegations against the pugilist. Surveillance video and an incident report compiled by a manager of a Miami strip club detail allegations that boxing star Gervonta Davis assaulted and forcibly removed a former girlfriend from the club in late October. This would have been right around the time they were ramping up promotion for what was supposed to be the Jake Paul fight. The exhibition fight between them that was scheduled for November 14th was canceled on November 3rd, 4 days after the woman filed a civil suit with the 11th Judicial Circuit Court in Miami-Dade County, claiming Davis committed battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress against her. USA Today obtained a copy of the manager's incident report and, during a FaceTime call, viewed surveillance video that Richard Wolf, one of the woman's attorneys, said he obtained from the parent company of the Miami Gardens Club through a subpoena. Artegus Lane, a manager at Tootsie's Cabaret, said he was working at the club during the alleged attack and later reviewed video from the club's camera system. He said he documented what he saw for an incident report he filed with Tootsie's Cabaret. Now, Jake Paul himself, upon the cancellation of the exhibition with Gervonta, stated that there was a video, but people didn't want to believe it from him. Some people that were still making excuses for what is a serial domestic abuser. A copy of the club report obtained by USA Today Sports lists Lane as the person filing it. In the part states, Mr. Davis could be seen making gestures that gave the impression the woman was being forced to leave with him. Mr. Davis continued being physical by grabbing her by the neck and hair. Lane also said he interviewed the woman who works as a VIP waitress at Tootsie's Cabaret. Her name is being withheld because USA Today does not generally publish the identities of victims of domestic abuse. The woman said she and Davis, 31, had an intimate relationship for 5 months before the alleged attack took place on October 27th. The woman also is 31. According to the club incident report Lane said he completed, "I know she was shooken up, and I just want to ensure her that her safety and everything," Lane said. Ravone Littlejohn, a representative of Davis, declined to comment to USA Today. Of course he did. What the fuck is he gonna say? This is pattern behavior. The entire incident, once you read through it, harkens back to a previous incident involving an entirely different woman when Gervonta Davis got handsy with her at a basketball game. It's practically the same situation. The article continues. A spokesperson for Davis on November 24th said, "The boxer will address the matter in a documentary that will be released after Thanksgiving." The spokesperson, who identified herself only as Jade, said the boxer is in Baltimore, his hometown, hosting a Thanksgiving drive at Davis's gym, the Uptown Boxing Center, likely doing damage control to tidy up his image ahead of what is his 9th or 10th domestic abuse incident? The matter involving Davis and the alleged incident in Florida is an active case, according to the Miami Gardens Police Department. No associated criminal charges had been filed as of November 24. At 3:51 a.m. on October 27th, a manager at Tootsie's Cabaret heard that one of the staff members may have been assaulted. According to a copy of the incident report, a review of video footage revealed an incident did occur. According to the report, video footage showed a light-skinned black man wearing a white t-shirt and joggers, later identified as Davis, among club patrons. According to the report, upon seeing the woman, the man approached her and grabbed her behind her head by the hair. The woman was working her shift as a VIP waitress, and Davis forced her to walk toward the stairway that leads to the kitchen, the report states. Sound familiar? Identical to the situation we saw at a basketball game some years ago. During a FaceTime call, Wolf, the attorney, allowed USA Today Sports to view a copy of the video he said he obtained by subpoena from RCI Hospitality Holdings, Inc., the parent company of Tootsie's Cabaret. Gary Fishman, a spokesman for RCI Hospitality Holdings, said the company would not comment on the matter. Lane's report provided a detailed account of the video. The woman could be seen via camera footage begging for Mr. Davis to stop, Lane wrote. Once by the stairway, you can see Mr. Davis grabbing the woman and pushing her by the head and grabbing her hair in an aggressive manner, shaking it and pulling it back and forth down the first flight of stairs. According to the report, another woman witnessed the incident and was trying to alert a club employee to what was happening. The struggle continued as Davis forced the woman to walk down the stairs and through the kitchen. The woman begged Mr. Davis not to put his hands on her in front of the staff while walking through the kitchen, Lane wrote. After they passed through the kitchen, Mr. Davis continued being physical with her as she was trying to figure a way to get away from him. Eventually, Davis and the woman entered the club's garage, according to the report, which states the woman told Davis to get the keys to his vehicle from the valet. And once he walked ahead, the woman took the chance to run back into the club, according to the report. Later, in the manager's office, the woman explained the details of the incident, also listed in Lane's report. The woman was a bit shaking and crying from the incident while explaining, Lane wrote. The woman stated that she and Mr. Davis were acquaintances who has had issues similar to this at another club recently. Pattern behavior. There were no visible injuries after the alleged attack at Tootsie's Cabaret, and the woman declined medical treatment. She declined to press charges and said she needed to think about it, according to the report. Lane's report filed with Tootsie's Cabaret states the woman said she was a bit scared for what he might do to her outside of work, cause he saw her out one night at a club and choked her out prior to her employment. Wolf, one of the woman's attorneys, said the woman pressed charges with the Miami Gardens Police Department the same day the civil lawsuit was filed. Civil matter against Davis stalled by summons delays. When the woman filed her lawsuit, according to court records, she also filed a petition for an injunction, also known as a restraining order. A judge granted the woman a temporary injunction against Davis, and a hearing for the permanent injunction was set for November 12th. However, the hearing was rescheduled for December 9th because Davis was not served a summons for the injunction, said Eugenio Catterall, director of the Family Courts Department in Miami-Dade County. Davis must be served a summons before a judge can rule on the petition for injunction, Catterall said. He said the temporary injunction typically stays in place for only 120 days before the judge dismisses it if there has been no service on the respondent. A judge has extended the temporary restraining order in the woman's lawsuit, according to Catterall. He said copies of the new temporary injunction have been sent to both law enforcement offices in Broward County, Florida, and Clark County, Nevada, to attempt service on Davis again. The docket in the civil case does not show Davis has been served, according to Catterall, who said Davis must be served by law enforcement because the allegations constitute a domestic violence case. You get the sense that Gervonta's making himself hard to find deliberately as to avoid being served in order to delay this process. Wolf, one of the woman's attorneys, said his law firm has tried to serve Davis too. He said a process server representing his firm had tried unsuccessfully 3 times. Wolf shared emails exchanged between his firm and on-demand process service in Miami, indicating the call box at Davis's home does not list Davis's name. Davis resides at a home in Southwest Ranches, Florida. According to the woman's lawsuit, the listed owner of the home is SWR Prime LLC, according to property records. That's odd. Davis is currently on probation from a 2023 hit-and-run case in Baltimore, Maryland, in which he pleaded guilty to multiple traffic offenses. In March, Davis admitted he left the state without permission, and his probation was extended by 18 months, according to the Baltimore Banner. So from the sound of all of this, and that there is corroborating evidence, that there's actually a video and several people have already seen it, sounds like Gervonta Davis's goose might finally be cooked, that he's gone one step too far. And it's funny because in the press conference for what was supposed to be his fight with Jake Paul, Jake himself highlighted that Gervonta is a known woman beater. Gervonta tried to play it down, saying that if he were so known for beating women, women would have come forward. This one just did. And so the universe is not without a sense of humor. I think there's something wrong with this guy. I don't know what it is. Fetal alcohol syndrome? Maybe he's a little bit down with the syndrome. He's a little bit retarded. Which is indicative of more than just pattern behavior, but that there's no signs of letting up, because this literally just happened last month while he's supposed to be promoting a fight. And that's just the domestic violence stuff. That's not counting other incidents like the hit and run. But is a menace to society, so now my hope is that they catch up to him and that they throw the book at him, lock him up, and not just end his boxing career, but remove him from society. Some people look at Gervonta Davis as some sort of a success story, when all he's really been successful in is dodging his comeuppance. Dodging top competition as a boxer. He's just a fucking coward. And if he's the poster child for anything, and anybody who likens themselves to him must be a coward themselves. Garbage. So in previous instances when you've heard me say that this is a fighter with no redeemable qualities inside or outside of the ring, are you starting to get it? Are you starting to understand? There's nothing to admire about him. Nothing to look up to or aspire to, unless you want to grow up to be a piece of crap. Piece of shit. His bullshit boxing career has not been so remarkable that you can overlook these glaring character flaws in this myriad of domestic violence incidents. There's not enough turkeys to hand out to tidy up his image. He is not an ambassador for boxing or a spokesperson for the sport or any major brand for that matter. If he's the poster child for anything, it's degeneracy. There were questions as to whether or not there was actual CCTV of the incident, because if there were, his ass is grass and that girl that he assaulted might be the lawnmower. Some actually hoped that he would be able to make this all go away quietly and resume his boxing career, but to do what? To avoid more capable fighters like he's been doing for years now? Sounds a lot like he's avoiding being served as well in order to delay the process that might constitute a criminal case. Domestic violence. Which is a little more than just a civil suit. So my hope now is that they are able to catch up to him, and when the time comes, throw the book at him. Lock him up! Because he's a piece of shit and a fucking coward.
I'm just curious, throughout the broadcast, they kept showing Benn ringside, and he was yawning, and he was sleeping on Eddie's shoulder, and I'm just wondering what you thought of some of that perceived shade throughout your fight on the telecast.
Actually, yes. You know, Eddie's little puppet. Eddie is his master, so he does what Eddie wants him to do. Eddie, Benn is an accomplice nowhere near what I've accomplished. If we both were to retire today, ask boxers, ask the fans, whose career would they rather have? My career or Benn's career? And I'm younger than Benn. He hasn't accomplished nothing. He hasn't done nothing in the sport of boxing. His biggest win is against a weight drain guy, and then he lost the first fight. He had a rematch to get a win against a guy that was weight drained. He did a rematch clause, did all these stipulations. That's his biggest win of his career.
Well, as you know, and your dad has addressed this as well. Yeah, go ahead.
And the guy that he lost to, that he had the weight drain to put all these stipulations on, was never even world champion. And I love Chris Eubank, but he was never even world champion. So you can't even put us in the same sentence. He's nowhere near my level. And like I said, he's Eddie's little puppet. He does what Eddie says. Eddie has been hating on me for a while now. Every chance he gets, he talks down on me. Eddie Hearn. Yeah. Like I said.
Would seem that Devin Haney has taken it personal that Benn was seen nodding off during his fight against Brian Gore-Tex this past weekend, and that Eddie Hearn echoed a similar sentiment that Devin is very skilled and he's accomplished, but he's not good to watch. The fight was boring, deferring to career accolades and accomplishments, none of which address what's actually being said, that the fight was boring. Devin might have won the fight and did it emphatically, but that doesn't make the fight entertaining. And that's what's being said. Not a cross comparison of Devin's accolades versus Benn's. Everybody already knows who's more accomplished. And they literally had a back and forth, Benn and Devin Haney. Reacting to Devin's comments on the Ariel Hawaii show, Benn said, "Devin Haney, you little minge." I like that word. It sounds like what it is. Are you still suing Ryan for battery? Come see me soon, and you'll actually be involved in an exciting fight. We know where you practiced all that hugging. To which Devin responded, "You're the same bitch that tried to come up and say, 'What's up?' and shake my hand last night, then get on Twitter talking tough. That's why I ain't shake your hand, cause I know you're really a bitch. That's why you tucked your tail and walked away. You want to argue on the internet for clout." To which Connor responded, "You were with all your security, you little fanny. Come try and step to me anywhere and I'll iron you out then and there."
What's a minge?
That's UK for vagina, vulva, minge.
Wow, it really does sound like what it is.
The reality of it is that Conor Benn wasn't looking for clout when he was seen nodding off on Eddie Hearns' shoulder during this past weekend's fight. Put simply, he was bored, so was I, and so were a lot of people, because in spite of Devin winning the fight, he didn't win it in a fashion that entertained the crowd.
It's got nothing to do with career accomplishments. It has nothing to do with clout.
If you're addressing the situation for what it is, then what it is people are calling Devin boring.
Boring.
And talking about how many belts you won at how many weights is not a counter to that. Knee-deep in British beef and back and forths, on the heels of his win over Eko Essuman, Jack Catterall said, "WBO #1, let's go," at Real Devin Haney. Remember, Devin is WBO welterweight champion now.
To which Devin responded, "Jack, ask your coach what I would do with you. We all know what you would do. Win a ho-hum decision and act like you beat the guy half to death."
It's a peculiar situation, this one, because Devin Haney versus Jack Catterall is not actually a hot ticket, but it's a fight that needs to happen for Devin if he wants to keep that brown belt. Jack is in position to become his mandatory, and I'm not sure that this is a fight that Turkey LL Sheik would want to pay for.
What are you implying?
Matchroom might be the ones that have to do it. Matchroom, on behalf of Jack Catterall, might have to be the ones that put it together in the event that Turkey doesn't want to pay for it, because it doesn't make for an exciting fight. Jack, on many occasions, has been called a boring fighter, so what do you get when you put two boring fighters together?
An overpriced fight that nobody wants to see.
We all know that Devin Haney wants a lot of money every time that he gets out there, but I'm not sure that Matchroom is going to offer him what he wants for this fight. But at the same time, this fight has to happen.
If he wants to keep that brown belt so soon after having won it.
And the only one with the finances to bridge the gap in the event that Matchroom can't offer Devin what he wants is Turkey. But why would Turkey want to pay for this fight? Why would he want to put it together? Why would he want to see it? It's a terrible style matchup. Devin and Jack?
If you've got sleep apnea, you need to be about 50 feet away from the television when this thing comes on.
Seriously, it's not a good fight. It may have to happen because of the ranks, but as far as aesthetics, it's actually one of the worst fights you could make. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here, and if Eddie Hearn don't take Jack up some other route to fight some other fighter, because Devin
is too fucking expensive and too fucking boring.